Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the Virus Edition, aka the Panty Pods,
AKA two guys, no surprise.
aka two dudes, one good attitude,
AKA one egg, four legs.
aka we believe in the Milwaukee Bucks for striking, even though it's something that we ourselves are like, I miss sports and I can't believe
so.
It's not
This is happening as we're recording this on Wednesday, and who knows what the fallout will be by Friday. But
Right.
I think we have to talk about this. I mean, this
Briefly.
is briefly before we get into stories we've prepared. You know, sports for us, as it is for a lot of people, may not be for everyone, but sports is a release.
Yeah.
Sports is an escape hatch for a little bit. We're not also the kind of people that say, don't mix any politics with sports. That ruins my release.
No.
Well, no. We actually think it's okay, as we've said before, to hold two thoughts in our heads at the same time. So what's insane and what's hard and what's difficult right now is that the Milwaukee Bucks and now 5 other teams have
But
made
Milwaukee,
that,
because the shooting happened in Wisconsin, in Kenosha,
they've come back to a situation, they've come back to a point where they're simply, you want to put that on? Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. We got a package delivered. That's what happens. They've come back to a point where they're no longer going to just stand there and take and say, we're going to take it. We're going to continue to stand off to the side and watch police, bad police, not all police are bad police, but bad police brutalize our citizens with an over excessive use of force and just stand back and be like, well, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So they said, what's the only power we have? They said, okay, we're going to boycott the games. We're going to take away this thing, which generates a ton of money. Don't forget, this is on TV. This is on TNT.
ads are being sold.
Ads have been sold. Those can't be used. You know, this is money for the owners, money for everybody. This is now where powerful people need to step in and be like, hey, we need to save this NBA season. Because I don't think they're just going to turn around and come right back and play a game tomorrow and be like, yes, we made our point. So
they want action.
Action has to happen. And this is athletes saying, look, we have a little bit of power over here in this corner. We don't have a lot, but we have a little bit.
Let's use what we can. And so in that way, we just say we stand with you and we applaud you for using your power in the right way to try and affect some sort of positive change. All this going on during the Republican National Convention. Craziness. You think they're going to deal with any of it? No, they're going to make the NBA out to be villains, and that's the way it's going to go.
And it's kind of a bummer because I think a lot of people were actually watching the playoffs instead of the RNC.
I know.
So you don't really want to take away another programming option, but it is what it is.
All
right. So let's get into what we have. We have a Falwell update.
Yep.
And you know that can't be a
It's
good
crazy.
thing.
You know
that's not going to be a good thing for Jerry Falwell. Like, it's not going to be like suddenly Jerry Falwell, here's our update. He's come up with a cure for COVID. No.
Nope.
That isn't what happened. All right.
No, it's going to be more salacious details about
His pool boy.
Yeah.
And his life. All right. So when we last left our hero, his pants were unbuttoned with his wife's assistant, who also had her pants unbuttoned.
He was just trying to commiserate with her, Jay.
In an Instagram post. Literally and figuratively
Caught with his pants down.
Right? And these are the people who are, I guess, taking the religious and moral, quote unquote, high ground on issues.
Literally holier than thou attitude.
Right. They're huge, by the way, huge Trump supporters.
They
these
are?
guys. Yeah. In 2016, they handed Trump the most unchristian man on earth, the evangelical vote. How Christian is that?
That's
A guy who very clearly is the least Christian man out there.
no.
You gave him the vote.
Got to give it to him.
So now there's more details to the Jerry Falwell Jr. sexual
And you just
fetish.
knew the details would come out like a stomach coming out of pants that are too
Right.
small for you. It's going to come spilling out in a way that you don't want it to come out.
We, of course, say whatever 2 or 3 consenting adults decide to do, Randy and I believe in their own time, is fine with us.
Just don't claim to be something that you just accept it and say who you are.
So the problem comes when you turn around and then in the name of the Bible say that a gay lifestyle, a trans lifestyle, anything that's different than a straightforward man and a woman, sex between 2 married people is suddenly evil and bad. So when you start preaching that from the pulpit, you got to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Literally, that phrase comes to mind.
Yep.
This is the definition of it.
Practicing what you preach.
And the Falwells, not just Jerry Jr., but his wife Becky with an I, are not practicing what they preach and teach at Liberty University, or used to teach at Liberty University.
They're no longer there.
According to Giancarlo Granda, once a pool boy at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami, the hotel where our parents honeymooned.
There you go.
Some 53 years ago.
That's right. That's right.
And they didn't get into this kind of hullabaloo.
They probably just rented a cabana.
Right. So you can't blame it on the Fontainebleau.
They rented a cabana.
This is not like a service that the Fontainebleau provides.
No.
I just want to say that. Our parents honeymooned there 53 years ago. They did not suddenly enter into a 3-way with a pool boy.
And why would Granda want to make a Granda deal out of this?
Right. No matter how you spell the word blue, you can't blame them. According to Granda, the Falwells did the Christian thing with him, and by the Christian thing, we mean paid him to have sex with Becky while Jerry Jr. watched while wearing a Speedo.
Okay, cuck porn.
Yeah. I'm not sure what book in the Bible recommends
I'm going to say Romans.
Is it John 3:16? Because I keep seeing John 3:16 at sporting events, and I don't know what that...
I think it means that the field goal is good.
Okay. Luke 2:69.
I can't remember.
Is that it?
I
cannot remember what
I think
I
it's
don't
Luke
know the New Testament.
3:69.
Right.
2:69 while one sits in the corner.
2:69 plus 1 on the side.
That's right.
Maybe that's the scripture that it comes from. I'm not sure.
We're not well versed in the New Testament.
So the dude was 20 years old when the Falwells, and I'm sure they didn't try to intimidate or coax him into this operation at all with money and power.
20 years old and you're working in the high status job as a pool boy at the Fontainebleau, you're going to walk into any situation.
Someone's going to offer you thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll do anything at that point.
Sure.
And then they ended up going into business with this guy. This is the weirdest part of it for me. They bought a youth hostel.
What?
Because who's been more hostile to the youth than these people, folks?
And by the way, if you're thinking of a way to make a lot of money,
yes,
youth hostels.
Go into that youth hostel business.
Get $16 a night. Get a hacking German.
Yeah,
kid.
rake in some of that youth hostel dough, right?
Yeah. Start swimming in that.
So they obviously went into business with this guy. I'm going to say because they were wanting him to shut up about their relationship.
Hush money,
right? So here we give you a business. Let's go buy a youth hostel.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a Matt Damon movie? We bought a youth hostel.
Yes, it is. Throw him a bone, Becky.
Throw him a bone.
No, I think he's supposed to throw the bone to Becky. I don't know.
This guy is good at closing deals.
He is.
Well, now Granda wants to be bought out of his share so that he can sever ties with them.
Even Granda's like, I don't even want to be in the fake business that you paid me out to be a part of.
Just pay me out. I want to be out of your lives.
I don't want
the Falwells are not into it. They say that he's trying to extort money for them and shake them down.
Oh, okay. I think it was Becky who was doing the shaking down.
Isn't it interesting, or is it ironic? I don't know what the exact word is, that the Falwells are not falling well.
No.
They're not falling down very well.
There's nothing they're doing well.
And I can't stress this enough, that if it's part of adult consent, that's what you guys are into, go for it.
If all 3 parties are happy about it, you do that.
But if you come out in the world
against anything that isn't sex between a man and a woman, or a relationship between a man and a woman, then you cannot.
No, I'm going to go further. If you come out in this world and you deny God's blessings,
right,
for anyone who is gay,
who has alternative beliefs,
alternative lifestyles, anybody, and you try to shame them with the word of the Lord, then expect to get shamed. If you get outed for what you do,
get ready.
That's right.
Get ready.
That's a Bible thing, right?
Yeah.
Eye for an eye. Isn't that a Bible thing?
That's right.
Cain and Abel. Isn't that what that was from?
An eye for an eye while you sit in the corner and watch her get it in the eye.
Right. Don't do stuff like pay a guy to have sex with your wife while you watch, and don't expect to not get called on the carpet for it. That's all I'm saying.
Or at the very least, let the guy get bought out of his contract.
Buy him out of the hostel. It's hostile to the youth that you're not doing it. As Reuters was preparing to release the story, Jerry Falwell prematurely released a state. I just put that in there.
Did he?
Prematurely released a
It's
statement
not the first time he's prematurely released
to
something.
to the Washington Examiner. Which what the
is
hell
that?
is the Washington?
Never heard of it.
Examiner? I
Never
know the
heard of it.
Washington Times is very
I know
conservative.
the Washington Post.
Washington Post. I know the Christian Science Monitor.
Washington Examiner feels like this is a leaflet that someone gives someone.
It feels like some paper they started.
Right.
In his statement, he and his wife stated that they did have an affair with Granda, but that Granda was
They had an affair with Granda. Again, you
They're
are never
admitting it.
allowed. You are never allowed to make any comment about anybody ever again.
right.
You
You can't judge anyone else unless you're going to say good for you.
Right.
Good for you in your gay lifestyle. Good
Yeah.
for you in your alternative
You
lifestyle.
found something that makes you happy.
And they're saying that he's trying to extort money from them. I don't know why.
You're living your best life.
To me, I don't know why he's trying to stop this whole thing from happening. I feel like
buy him out.
on some level he'd be into this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Granda is trying to publicly screw these guys, and Falwell gets to watch it happen.
You get to sit on the side and let this. You guys are getting screwed by Granda.
But this again, I keep coming back to this when I talk about this story, Rand, and that is if you go on the pulpit and you start bringing down the quote unquote wrath of God onto anyone who
get ready for it to be brought down.
it's
on
going
you.
to come to you. It's going to come back around
And
on
the
you.
simple fact that you get details like he had to be sitting in a Speedo.
Like, what?
Why is he? To me, I feel bad for Granda that he had to have sex in a room while another guy was
Is
sitting there
watching.
in a Speedo.
And like they brought this guy on family trips with their adult kids who were about his age.
Yeah.
Weren't they on the trip walking around going, who's this
Why
guy?
is this guy here?
Why is he at dinner?
Where's his room?
Yeah, where's he sleeping tonight?
I
He's
mean-
just going to hang with you guys? He's got his own hotel on another property?
Okay.
He's here before we woke up. Guys, he was here.
Came here before we woke
I knocked
up.
on their door early in the morning. He was already here.
He's raring to go.
Yeah, he's up.
He's
He's awake.
Becky wanted turn down service.
Turn out service.
Becky,
Turned out service.
Becky wanted turned out service.
And she got it.
Granda gave it to her.
Granda gave it to her in the Granda illusion.
He left a little tiny little mint on her pillow. So to
we
speak.
will continue to watch this story, but again, this is where you get into trouble if you are on that holier than thou religious right.
Just get ready for it to come back in your face. And nothing makes us happier than to watch you fall.
That's absolutely right.
Well,
All
all
right.
right. That's our first story.
There
Let's
you go.
take a quick break. When we come back on the other side, very excited. It's again the idea that we can hold two ideas in our heads at once.
Correct.
Let's get into it on the other side. This is Sklar Country, the Virus Edition. Stay with us. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Also want to mention we are the live Dumb People Town. Tickets are going up. I don't know how many we've sold already so far. Did you check it this morning?
We're about 300.
Okay.
290.
290, 300 tickets. It's going to get sold out.
Yeah, we might be at about 350 as we head into September. That's
Right.
still almost 4 weeks away
like a
from the
month
event.
away.
So it's gonna go, and we just this is an awesome night out. It's so much fun. It's a night out, but you're in.
Yeah.
And
And if you can screen mirror on your TV, it's like watching a show happen. It's really fun. And we just had a great response to this past one that we did with Jim Gaffigan. We just released it. So listen to that, enjoy it, and then be a part of this next one. Mike Birbiglia and Mike Doty from Soul Coughing, September 26th. Go to eventbrite.com.
Look
Live
for-
Dumb People Town.
search for Live Dumb People Town.
Nowhere
You'll find it.
Comedy Club. All right, should we jump in this?
Let's get into it. So we talk about this all the time. We are capable as people to hold two ideas about one thing in our head at the same time.
Human beings are complex, and we believe that they're capable of holding those. You can be angry at systematic racism propagated by current law enforcement, which is going on right now.
Do we know that's going on right now?
But at the same time, you can acknowledge that there are some good cops out there too.
Trying their hardest to fight against a system that is flawed, that we need to fix.
And serve and protect people in their jurisdiction. Like we can think both those things. We can
Absolutely.
be really angry at these cops that did this thing,
Right.
and the unions that protect them, and the systems that are in place that protect them from doing these things. And at the same time, you can also say, we have friends that are cops, and we know that they're as outraged as we are by this thing, and we know that they're doing well and doing right by people.
Yes.
In these moments, like in this next story, I actually feel for the cops.
Yeah, who got called to deal with this guy.
All right. Oklahoma City. Police were called to a 7-Eleven convenience store in response to a man who was threatening staff and customers Thursday. That's never a good thing.
That's never a good thing.
You never.
First of all, who talks to anyone at a 7-Eleven? You should silently grab your thing, shamefully buy it, and walk out the door and be embarrassed or sad that you're eating this awful stuff.
You never walk into that situation thinking it's going to be easy.
We got a problem at a 7-Eleven where a guy's telling people that they're going to die and threaten them. This should be fun.
No one is like excited to go into that.
No.
If you're not just walking into a 7-Eleven, like you say, to get those combos,
Get
what are you
that
doing?
Shameful bag of combos, just walk out the door.
We've been there.
If you're turning and talking to people and engaging with them, something is wrong with you.
Stop it. The man later was identified as James Pettyjohn, who was allegedly asking people if they were ready to die today. Well, in this pandemic, we all are.
Yeah.
We all are ready to die today.
I guess. I mean, maybe
it's a bit of a loaded question.
And maybe he was just listening to a lot of Biggie.
Maybe.
He just was listening to Ready to Die and he just thought about it.
Pettyjohn to me sounds like a guy who's committed a lot of small crimes with hookers.
Yes.
Right?
Like he coerced a hooker to commit fraud.
Mail fraud.
Right.
Or he got an escort to enter into a Ponzi scheme.
Or he and a hooker walked out on a dinner bill.
Right? Or they snuck into a water park.
Pettyjohn.
Pettyjohn.
They didn't do anything that bad.
He's not a bad John. He's a Pettyjohn. Petty larceny. Police say when they arrived, he ran into the median on Northwest Expressway in front of the on-queue. Do you know what an on-queue is?
I guess it's the on-ramp?
Maybe. Running into the median to me is the move that says, okay, get the net.
Yeah.
Get the net, man. This Dan Van Kirk said it. Get a net for these people.
With some rocks around the edges.
Get a net. People can't get out of a net.
They can't get out of a net.
This is going to be frustrating, and then his hands won't be free. Get a net.
Get a net.
Classic Pettyjohn. He should have been charged with petty larceny.
I agree.
Right? Officers then tried to make contact with Pettyjohn, but he took his shirt off, kicked off his sandals, and took a fighting stance.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. You cannot kick someone's ass in sandals. You cannot do it.
I will say this. The sandals threw me. Sandals aren't an ass-kicking shoe.
No, you don't put your sandals on and be like, all right, someone's going to get their butt kicked today. You don't do that. That's not an attitude you can have in sandals.
No, you put your sandals on and go to a book reading.
You put your sandals on and then you go pour some cashew gravy over some brown rice at Staff of Life. You know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about Staff of Life up in Santa Cruz?
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about Staff of Life in Santa Cruz.
You put your sandals on and then walk leisurely to a farmer's market. That's what you do in your sandals.
You don't put your sandals on and then go rob a bank.
You put your sandals on and go volunteer at a food bank.
Thank you.
Is what you do.
Thank you. Your sandals are like a watercress salad.
Remember
when I used to do that? Our friend Gideon Gill, I used to say we would be out and I'd be like, as soon as I finish this watercress salad, I'm going to kick your ass.
Those two things don't come together.
It was funny because it's so impossible.
There's no way you can't
take a fighting stance.
Delicately finish a watercress salad and then go over and kick someone's ass. I mean, it's crazy. That's Pettyjohn for you.
Pettyjohn.
He began pulling away and yelling that he was a vampire and he was going to bite the officer's neck and drink his blood. Okay.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Vampires don't wear sandals either, right? Am I right?
Do
to
they?
Say that?
I've watched a lot of True Blood, What We Do in the Shadows. I've never seen a sandal.
Like a Tiva, maybe. Like a
sandals? It's too precarious.
Yeah.
I think. Don't you?
Yes.
While the officer was putting him in the police car, Pettyjohn shouted that he was going to spit in his face.
Oh.
To me, this is one of a vampire's biggest weapons, their ability to spit, right? When a vampire spits on you, that's it.
Yeah, spit in his face.
Don't vampires have to be invited into a 7-Eleven?
Yeah, I don't want to just walk in. That is True Blood, right? I didn't watch True Blood, and I know.
I don't want to get the laws of vampires.
Were you watching True Blood and there was like a moment where he used his power to like run around a car to open a door for someone really quickly?
Yes, he had the ability to go really fast and he went over and opened up a door really fast. And I was like,
that's a waste.
Is that a waste of using your vampire speed?
Right.
There's one thing people who know vampires, the first thing they're afraid of is getting spit on by a vampire
spit,
right?
Yeah.
Vampire spit, and that's it.
Yeah. That's
Once in the car, police say Pettyjohn lunged forward and spit in the officer's face, yelling, "I'm going to feast on your blood." Feast? Feast is a word I would expect someone in sandals to make,
right,
and use. I'm going to feast. Bless you.
Feast.
That's when you realize we should all have the plexiglass in there, right?
Yeah. That should be
It's like a New York City
taxi
cab. How have we not moved? Why is the cage still out there?
I don't know.
No one should be able to get any, especially in this day and age.
Even a finger through that thing.
No one should be able to get anything through there, right? Plexiglass. That's it.
Faced on your blood does sound like he's making a meal out of it, literally and figuratively.
Police transported him to Baptist Hospital to get blood drawn to see if he exposed the officers to any diseases. And I'm guessing also see if he was a vampire.
That's the way.
Also, wouldn't have, if he was a vampire, and I'm just trying to go with it, maybe he is, wouldn't have his hands have burned by being in the silver cuffs?
Maybe.
You're in the cuffs. It's going to burn your hands.
I don't know the rules of cuffs. And I don't know the...
I'm not a vampire connoisseur. I'm just saying his hands would be burned. His wrists would be burned.
I'd go to the stinking rose and then just see how he handles it.
After the test, that's a garlic restaurant. Officers booked him in the county jail and charged him for aggravated assault and battery on a police officer. Yeah, you can't spit on someone you can't do it in non-pandemic time.
No.
I've said spitting, I think, is one of the, it's so intimate.
And yet it is
It's like the worst. It's like the flip side of a terrible French kiss.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's like an angry embrace.
It's awful.
I hate spitting.
It's so bad.
I hate it when people spit on people. Even in movies and stuff, it bothers me to no end. It is
so
terrible.
Gross. Yeah.
Add to the fact that now that
can make you sick. You
that's
could really
weaponize it. You can't do it. To me, I think they should get him out in the yard during the day
in prison.
In the prison,
yeah,
and see how much of a vampire this guy really
in the light
is.
of day. Give him some garlic noodles.
There you go.
I mean, it is interesting to me though that vampires and the coronavirus both come from bats. Am I right? Or reportedly have come from bats. So maybe this guy,
he's more dangerous than we think.
He's like the virus because when you think about it, starts with a bat.
And then wreaks a ton of havoc on people.
Vampires and coronavirus.
Same thing. All right, guys, that's the show. That's how we do. That is how we do. We love you guys. For all of you who are making the right decisions and the right decisions morally, we support you. We stand by you.
Absolutely.
Stay protected. Stay connected. Don't get infected. Wear a mask, guys. This is not a hoax.
But we got the jokes.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da.